Hello, and welcome. Now, I have a problem that I think some of you might face. I want a 4-seat RZR, but I don't have the money to buy one new. And what's even worse, the area that I live in, a used one costs just as much as a new one. But I did notice something. A used 2-seater does not. In fact, a used 2-seater is only about half as much as a 4-seater. And so I thought to myself, could I just take all of the parts of a 4-seater and stretch out a 2-seater? Let me show you what I mean.
Hey buddy, I just need to borrow this and this. Thanks.
So it probably doesn't surprise anyone to find out that a 2-seat and a 4-seat RZR share a lot of common parts. They have the same front hoods, same rear beds, even the same front seats and front doors. The only real difference is that a 4-seater has this extra section in the back for the other 2 seats. It still uses a 2-seat front pan for all the plastics in the front. It just has an extension piece to fill in for the seats in the back. The battery location stays the same whether it's in a 2-seat or a 4-seat. Basically, all you're doing in a 4-seater is just driving it from 2 feet further forward. So I wanted to incorporate this. How many parts can there be to cut this one in half, take this one's stock parts, and stretch this one out to make it a 4-seater? And would it be cheaper than just buying a 4-seater? I really hope it is cheaper, because I am already 4 weeks into this project. I've taken apart my entire 2-seater, stretched it into a 4-seater, and I'm in the process of converting all of those 4-seater parts to make it longer. And I'm starting to think that this might have been the stupidest idea I've ever had.
So let's back it up and bring you up to speed. I found a 4-seat front frame for sale on Facebook that had a little damage, but it was easily repairable. Next, I had to find a donor car. I picked this 2015 RZR 1000. It had a ton of miles and some mismatched parts, so I was able to get it pretty cheap. But the really exciting part was that this car had a nearly brand new crate motor that had just been dropped into it. I made a couple of small repairs and took it to Glamis for a shakedown. Within 30 minutes, I broke a rear axle. I got the car back in the garage, replaced the axle, and replaced some of the silver suspension with some red ones that I had laying around from a previous project. With the rear end put back together, I can dismantle all of the plastics and expose the front frame section. Amazingly, most of the plastics come off with a T40 Torx wrench and just plastic rivets. Man, this is definitely not something I was hoping to find today.
All right, so that's going to conclude part one of this whole project. Got the whole car pretty much torn down, ready to start putting it back together. I found a couple of things I didn't want to find. First off, my front axles are completely shot, so I went and got new ones of those. The front differential, I was told when I bought this car that it had all been redone and rebuilt, and it turns out it's old, leaking, tired, and worn out. So I've got a Sandcraft rebuild kit. I'm gonna put new bearings and seals in that. Wiring harness is out. Replace the coolant lines. There's still coolant in the motor, so I'm holding those lines up just to keep the coolant inside of it. Replace those pretty soon. I'm gonna put the radiator in. Wiring harness is on the floor. There's a lot of little clips on that. That was a pain. And then for all of you who are wondering why I didn't have a roll cage on the car when I started this project, this is why. Haven't finished painting yet. Still sanding. But this is my old stock roll cage. These bends are the bends that go right about there on the stock roll cage. So, cut it up. Made a bumper out of it. I think it turned out pretty good. My welding isn't as good as it used to be, but that's okay. All right, for all of you who stuck around to the end, please like and subscribe. Helps me a bunch. And hit the notification bell if you want to see more of this project. I'm going to be uploading videos as I go on. I'm also going to be taking all of the parts that came off of this car, that two-seater frame. I'm going to be building an entire rolling two-seater. I've also got a couple of other RZR videos I'm hoping to get out in the next couple of weeks or so. So please like, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.